Hi everybody, it's Sherry Capella from Sherapy, and I'm going live today with a house full of people on Christmas break, so expect the unexpected. So if you are aware of me, you know that I'm a life coach. If you're not familiar with me, let me introduce myself and say that I'm a life coach, and I predominantly do coaching for women to help them kind of step into their greatness and overcome any obstacles that are currently preventing them from getting to their greatness. So over the course of the next 100 days, I'm going to be doing something new, and it is called, I'm going to be sharing with you what I'm learning, and I'm currently learning in my life coaching practice 100 ways to motivate yourself. And my goal in sharing this with you is to show you how there are different ways to motivate yourself besides just your self-talk of, oh, I can do it, or how to change the way that you thought, to change the way that you think, in recognizing the way that we think as being a component to our motivation, and how it's not all about motivation. Sometimes it's about momentum. But at the core of all of it, knowing that you can have all the goals in the world, but if you don't have the right thinking, you might not accomplish your goals. So I want to share these things with you. And I also want to preface this by saying that I'm not sharing these things with you as a way of making myself feel like I am better than anybody, or to brag or do any of these things. I have done years and years of self-help, if you will, in addition to life coaching training, to get myself to where I am, to recognize that I have a lot of power in just the way that I'm thinking, and how what I think affects my reality on a daily basis. So this is how I kind of keep myself fresh with my own self-therapy, if you will, my own Sherapy, and how I control my thoughts. So I just want to dive in and get started. So day number 1, I already posted today's topic. Sounds a little bit morbid, but it's amazing. And quite honestly, it's the way that you have to start thinking about anything new. I feel that these 100, sharing with you these 100 ways to self-motivate, to motivate yourself, is appropriately timed for right now, as we're all getting ready to step into 2018, and we have all these new goals and objectives for what we want to accomplish in the new year, and to also get you excited about the fact that the new year is a new opportunity for you to reinvent yourself. So the first one is appropriate. It sounds morbid, but it's incredibly appropriate. And I'm going to turn the comments off here real quick. Bear with me just a moment. So the first one is titled, Get on Your Deathbed. And therein lies the morbidity I alluded to. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the exact quotes from this book, because they're incredibly poignant. They've been helping me with my journaling this morning, and even just kind of turning around some things in my life. So again, I'm reading this all from the book that I'm currently studying, and it's called 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself, Change Your Life Forever. And it's by Stephen Chandler. And he is one of my teachers. So I want to read to you only the most poignant parts of this book. And it'll drive home the point of getting on your deathbed. Pretending that you aren't going to die is detrimental to your enjoyment in life. It is detrimental in the same way that it would be detrimental for a basketball player to pretend that there is no end to the game that he's playing, that the player would reduce his intensity, adopt a lazy playing style, and of course, end up not having any fun at all. Without an end, there is no game. Without being conscious of death, you can't be fully aware of the gift of life. I mean, think about that. That's pretty amazing. You don't go on a vacation. You don't go on a trip thinking, oh, we're going to go on vacation and get in. No, you have a plan. How come we don't always approach life with having the same sort of plan, or putting the same sort of stock and value in knowing where we want to go in life and how we want to accomplish it and how each day plays on the next in terms of getting to where we want to go. It goes on to say, many of us, including myself, keep pretending that our life's game will have no end. We keep planning to do great things someday when we feel like it. We assign our goals and dreams to that imaginary island in the sea called the someday isle. Someday, we find ourselves saying, someday I'll do this, some days I'll do that. Confronting your own death doesn't have to wait until we run out of life. In fact, being able to vividly imagine our last hours on our deathbed creates a paradoxical sensation. The feeling of being born all over again. The first step to fearless motivation. People living deeply have no fear of death. And as Bob Dylan has sung, he who is not busy being born is busy dying. So I want to talk about that. So I love this line in here that says, confronting your own death doesn't mean you have to, confronting your own death doesn't have to wait until we run out of life. In fact, being able to vividly imagine our last hours on our deathbed creates a paradoxical sensation, the feeling of being born all over again. And that's incredibly poignant for where we are in the calendar year. We're at the point where we can be born again to our goals. We can be born again to our commitments. And I think that there's a lot of value here, but even more than just thinking about it in the context of what is it that you want to accomplish in 2018, think about it in the context of what is it that you want to accomplish in life. And going a step further and asking, you know, are you where you thought you would be in this life? Are you on track to be who you want to become in this life? And going so far as to thinking about, you know, how do you want to be remembered? Are you doing the things that you would want to be remembered for? Are you building your legacy? You know, and a legacy isn't necessarily just your financial legacy. It is basically, how will you be remembered? Will people remember you for how you lived to your fullest and how you made them feel? Or are they going to be remembered for how, or are you going to be remembered for how much money, you know, I mean, are you even going to be remembered? Does your life matter? Are you living with the end in sight? And what are you doing now to accomplish what you know is your purpose in life? If you're not on track now, then now's the time to change. So using me as an example, obviously not everybody can just do what I did. I'm incredibly blessed by an amazing support system. My husband has been there for me in ways that I know not everybody has. But in my situation, I really started thinking about my deathbed. I started thinking about, you know, if I'm not happy, how come I'm not happy? And if I'm not happy and that's a feeling, then that feeling is coming as a result of a thought. And that thought was repeatedly me assessing and doing my share to get to the point of, I am not fulfilled in what I'm doing professionally. I was making money on the outside. I had everything, the designer cars, the house, the 3 little kids, but I was a shell. I was a version of me. I was not showing up for my children, for my husband, for myself, for my employer, the way I knew I could. And with that end in sight, I knew I needed to make a change, and I needed to do it, and it was going to be hard, and it was hard, and there are days where it's still hard, and there are days where I still kind of question, but I have no doubt now that I'm on the path of where I'm supposed to be. And even now when I do my coaching, when I do these types of videos, I mean, I'm doing this video and I'm sharing this with you guys, not just for you. I'm doing it for me, because at the end of the day, on my deathbed, I want to think about, was I the kind of life coach that I would want to have? When I get to, you know, day 33 in this, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with, you know, any of my New Year's resolutions, I want to be able to look back on this first video and think, did I do this first video on thinking about my deathbed in a way that I could replay it to remotivate myself? And that's a little bit of therapy, because there are times where you have to control your environment. And when you're not feeling it, do what you can to put yourself in an environment to get you back to that space of when you did feel it. So today I'm incredibly motivated to set out on 2018 with amazing goals. But I know that this day is fleeting. I know that pretty soon I'm going to wake up, I'm going to feel, whatever I'm going to feel, and I'm not going to feel like doing whatever my goals are. So I have to take notes, journal about it, and figure out a way so that every day I can show up. If every day I take a little bit of a step toward my long-term goal, I will get to where I want to be on my deathbed. I know that sounds morbid. I have a hard time with that one. So I want to think about this in terms of chunking it down. How do you apply this short term? Decide what it is that you want to do long term in terms of your goals, and then assess and evaluate what you need to do on a daily basis to get there. So again, that's, my point of, this is an awesome time because you have been given the gift of this new year to reinvent yourself. So every day, if you have a long-term goal to lose weight, every day you need to show up for yourself. If you have a long-term goal to show up differently for your children, every day you need to show up for yourself in order for you to be able to show up for your children. So here's some notes that I made. On my deathbed, I will have hoped that I taught my children how to manage their thoughts and how to listen to their intuition. So today and every day I talk with them and I show them how their thoughts, how their feelings are just from their thoughts, and how to listen to their intuition, and how to really plug in, and how to really assess what it is that their purpose is on this life. On my deathbed, I will have wished that I had shown my girls how to love their bodies enough to care for their health, and how to know what a body looks like of a woman who's 45 years old and had 3 babies, and how to still love it even when you're not feeling like you're meeting society's standards of what a 45-year-old should look like. And how, if I want something in life, on my deathbed, I will want to have taught my children that if I want something in life, that it's going to take hard work. And hard work means showing up despite how I feel on a daily basis, showing up for myself first, putting the oxygen mask metaphorically on me before I can put it on them, and how what I think and do and feel affects everybody around me, and that, that without a long-term goal, that I'm just aimlessly sailing. And so to bring this full circle, day 1 of 100 is really about you thinking about getting on your deathbed, assessing where you are right now. Are you where you want to be with your long-term goals, and realizing the beauty in the gift that you have right in this moment to see that you have the power to change it. So change it. And if you need any help or you have any questions, I am offering myself to you. Send me a private message. Let me know what it is that you're struggling with. Maybe you're having a really hard time right now setting goals for the new year. Maybe you're having a hard time getting, it could be endless. My point is this: you have the power now. Start today. Assess where you want to be, discern how you need to get there, and then decide what you can do today and every day in order to get where you want to be. Have a good day.